Open access is, and let's be clear on what we discuss when we say on open access. Open access for publications means that the outcomes of the research that have been publicly funded are free for everyone at the time of the publication. So that's the definition. We think, first of all, that it does not make sense that we fund publicly the research and then we need to pay again to have access to the outcome. So we need to get rid of this barrier that exists, which is a barrier of money, of payment. The European Commission promotes open access in Europe in two ways. First of all, in an agreement with the member states and with the main stakeholders, what we call a reinforced partnership for the European research area. And this is that we, all of us, set commitments on what we'll do in the next coming years. And in the case of open access, is making open access widely spread among Europe. And second, through the Horizon 2020, which is our funding instrument. In Horizon 2020, first of all, we want to be exemplary, so to have open access for everyone. It's mandatory that all the publications that are produced with funding from the Horizon 2020, all of them are published on open access. And second, for those who choose the gold route of open access, that is, that the author pays to the publisher, this is an eligible cost of the projects. As I said, open access, it's a matter of logic not to pay twice for something that has been already funded at the very beginning, that is the research, but also it will have access, will provide access to the outcomes of the research, not only to the scientific community, but also to the business community and to the public at large. And increasing the dissemination is one of the goals of the research. We want that these outcomes of the research are as disseminated as possible. And the money is always a barrier. So getting rid of this barrier will make this dissemination, the outcomes of the research, much more widely spread. And we think that this is in the interest of the society as a whole. In the end, science is not an issue of scientists, but an issue of society. As I said, the open access in the European research area is about the knowledge circulating freely across Europe. This is very important that we have the knowledge so that businesses and scientists know where the good ideas are. And this, with a wide policy of open access, will certainly increase. This is for publications. As for data, it will be probably more difficult to achieve an open access for research data, but this is very important because, first of all, most of the costs of every research project is related to the elaboration of data. And second, because the fact that we can use data from many sources, that will increase the power of our research enormously. And this would provide a very significant increase of the efficiency and the power of the research in Europe. In Horizon 2020, as I said, open access for publication is mandatory. We fund, gold as an eligible cost. For green, we will fund the repository that and the engine, the search engine, which in FP7 was open air, and that will continue under the Horizon 2020. As for data, we'll have a pilot on data to see how we can operate with data and to make data in open access as a pilot, and trying to have policy orientations to export and to expand it for the rest of the program. Open access has been very fast in its spread as a policy in Europe. In the last, I would not say a couple of years, there has been a huge change that we were discussing whether open access should be a policy, important policy, and now we only discuss how to do open access, because that we need to go to an open access route, I think, is not challenged anymore. The problem now is how to make it happen. For data, it will take longer, but the potentiality and the power of having data accessible to everyone is so big that I think that although there are still some barriers for this to happen, and among these barriers, the cultural change is essential, we'll have very soon open access to research data on the table of every policy maker.